Well, hello traders, we're back again with the next video. In this video we're going to be talking about a few of the simple things that are very useful. Obviously placing a trade is extremely important. There are two types of trades that we can place. There's an instant, which is going to work immediately. That's if we buy or sell right now. The next thing is how to modify an existing trade and how to close a trade. And the last one we're going to talk about are pending trades, which can be quite a tricky thing, just purely by the names that they've given. Alright, so first thing we're going to look at is how to place a trade. You should have your MetaTrader open. You'll see that I've already applied the colors theme that we learned in the last video, how to do it. You'll find that I always go back to this sort of color theme. It looks really nice. Now you'll see we've got tabs at the bottom here. If you've opened up multiple currency pairs, you'll have these tabs. If you don't have any tabs, then you've probably only got one pair. I'll show you an example. See up the top right here, we've got this close. If I click it, it'll close the active one, close again. Now I've only got one pair, so there are no tabs. So let me just show you what we're doing. We're going to new charts, remember that button, and then we're choosing another currency pair to load. Let's have a look. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Now it's updating and loading up the price values. There we go. And remember we've got this templates button, and we saved this one is AAA colors, and it's applied. Okay, so that's just refreshing what we were doing before. Now, to open up a new trade, there are various ways that you can go about it. One option is you can right click on the chart and you can go down and look for trading, and then you can click new order. Now this brings up an order window, and if it's left on instant execution, it means that we're going to enter the market immediately. And so you click sell or buy. Remember, sell is when we think that the market's going to come down, and buy is when we think the markets are going to be going up. So that's the simplest part. The next thing to look at is this volume number across here. Now volume is the lot size that we are wanting to trade. 1.0 sounds very small, but it's actually one full lot, which means we're exposing ourselves to $100,000 in the market. Most likely with your first account you'll be looking at volumes of 0.1 or 0.05, something like that. We'll discuss that more in the different systems. When we look at money management, depending on where the stop losses are, we'll show you what a good volume level is to have. The next thing to take note of is stop loss and take profit. Now what stop loss is it stops you from losing too much. So let's say you're going in for a buy and we expect the market to turn up here. But now we don't want to just leave this trade. What if it keeps plummeting down and for whatever reason we're not at our computers? So we can set a stop loss, and we can pick a value and we put in a stop loss here. I'll show you an example. This is where the price labels come in very handy. So I've selected the left price label. I'm going to pop it down there. So now we have a level which I don't think this will get broken. Just please note that I'm just choosing random trades, so don't hold this one against me. Now we're going to put in this as our stop loss value. So all I'm doing is I'm going to type in 0.97763 and now I'm going to click buy. Alright, you see this invalid stop loss or take profit? This is telling us that our stop loss is invalid. What they want us to do is to have a stop loss of more than 80 points or 8 pips. So this stop loss is actually too close. If I were to move this one down, and let's say pick a value around there, and I'll type it in again, 0.97646. Now let's go for a buy. Let's see what happens. Now it's accepted that because the stop loss is more than 80 points or 8 pips. Now 8 pips is very tight, so it's not like it's a big stop loss. It looks very big on this screen. See here we've got our trade entry, which is in green, and we've got our stop loss. So if the market comes down and hits this value, it'll exit our trade. Now, at the bottom here, remember we have our terminal window, account history. These are old trades that you've had before, and if you click on trade, this will show the current trades that you're in. Now we entered a lot size of 1, so we're exposing ourselves $100,000 to the market. So immediately you can already see that we are down by minus $31. You will always start off a trade in negative immediately. This is your spread that you're working on. So you have to pay for your spread up front. But it's a good thing because it means that when your trade does move into profit, you've already covered all your fees and things like that. Okay, so that's how to enter a trade instantly. Now let's look at how we can modify the trade. See here, we're still on the trade under terminal, and we've got our information across here, starting off with a unique order number. If there is a specific problem with the order, you can refer to that number to your broker and they'll be able to look up the details. As we mentioned before, we have things like time that the order was placed. Please note that this time is actually your broker's time, not your time. In this case, markets.com is 2 hours behind me at this time of year, so this is actually 09:52. We're buying one lot, that's the currency pair, that's the price that we bought at, and you can see that we have our stop loss in immediately. So now let's go ahead and modify this trade. If you click on the trade, you'll see that it goes up in blue. If you right click on it, you'll get this little window across here. By clicking modify or delete order, it brings up the trade information again. You'll see the stop loss is automatically in there. These things we can't edit because it's fixed. You know, the trade is already in US Canadian, we've already got a volume. The stop loss is the default thing that it's in, but now we can actually set a take profit. So let's say we thought that this trade is gonna just hit this little peak up top there. I'm just using these price levels again, so it's easy for us to do. Just get used to those price levels, they are very, very nice. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in that number, 0.98047. Let's see what happens. Okay, it accepted it because the stop loss is more than 80 pips from the current price. Not the entry price, this green line, but from the current price. So I click OK, and now we've got this other red line. The red line signifies there's some kind of trigger happening at those price levels. So if it comes down, it'll stop there, and it reduces the amount that I can lose. And if it goes up, it'll also close my trade, but that'll close in profit. So quite simply, that's all a stop loss and take profit is doing. Different systems will show you different places for take profit and stop loss, but the idea is to make more than you're losing, so hopefully your take profit will actually be bigger, so it'll be higher up, further away from this line than your stop loss is. Next thing to look at is how to close a trade. Now this is a demo account, so I'm going to close this trade before it goes into profit. Once again, you've got each trade loaded up like this. You can right click anywhere and you can click close order. You'll see it'll bring up by default the symbol of whatever trade you had at the bottom there. So it's US Canadian deal that we're in. You see the size here is 1. By default it sets as 1. Now if I click close, it's going to close the order. There we go. Just gives you quick details about what you did there, so you can click OK. Now if I go to account history, you'll see here it is. See 0752, remember it's actually 0952. It's a buy, there's the amount and so on, and at the right it shows you your profit or loss. If it's a minus, then it's a loss, but once again it is a demo account, so I'm not really too interested in that. I'm going to show you one more useful thing about a trade. To open up a new order, here's another way to do it. Instead of right clicking on the chart and going to trading, you can click on this new order button and it brings up the same window. I'm going to open up a new order. I'm not going to bother with the stop loss and take profit for now. This is just a demonstration. Now if I go back to trade, you'll see that we have that new trade that I just placed. It's already in negative. $42 does sound like a big loss, but remember we are in the market for $100,000, so that is really insignificant. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go back to close order. But now here's something interesting. If you have a look at the size here, we're in for one full lot. Let's say this trade has gone into a good amount of profit, but we think it might go further, but we're not too sure. You can adjust this volume amount. You can close a portion of your trade. So I'm in for one full lot. What I'm going to show you is I'm going to change to 0.5, so it's half of 1, and I'm going to close. Now what it's done, you see here I'm still on the trade window. Now I'm only left in the market for 0.5 because I was in for 1 and I closed 0.5 of the position, so I'm left in for 0.5. If I go to account history, you'll see I've closed the 0.5. This is what we call splitting the trade. It gets very useful in some of the systems coming up where you have multiple take profit areas. The first one is the safest, and that's where we would close off a portion of the trade. That's basically taking your profit, dumping it into your account, and it's yours. They can't take it. And then as the trade moves on, if it becomes more successful, you might want to start shaving off pieces of the profit in case things turn around. It depends on what sort of trader you're going to be, but you'll see with the systems that I do teach you, specifically price action, it becomes a very, very important part to do. The next thing to have a look at, and this is the part that starts getting a bit tricky, this is placing a pending order. Remember the two ways I showed you already. You can right click and go to trading, new order, or you can click on new order here. The other easy way is to simply press F9 on your keyboard, and you see it brings it up immediately. By default, the symbol will always be whatever chart you're currently looking at, and your volume will be whatever you had entered the last time. Now remember, I closed half the position, so last volume was a 0.5. Let's put this one in at a 1. Now under type, we have instant execution. This is what we were just doing. It means that we are entering the market immediately. If you click on it, you can go to pending order, and you'll see this bottom section has changed. Now there's 4 types of pending orders. You'll see you have a buy limit, a sell limit, a buy stop, and a sell stop. It does start getting a little tricky. We only really use these pending orders with the longer term systems. Scalping systems, it's always instant execution. For now, I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way to refresh your memory, because you will have this problem a lot. What I want you to do is you click on help, you go to help topics, and you'll get this terminal loading up. You just pop this in at full screen. By clicking on search, you type in the word pending, then list topics, and the first topic that loads. This explains the different types of pending orders. Okay, so buy limit is saying that the future asking price is equal to the predefined value. Now what they're saying is that we will give MetaTrader a value, we'll give it a certain level, and when the market moves to that level, we want it to enter a buy. You get a similar thing for sell, and you also get a buy stop and a sell stop. Now the differences are, on a buy limit, it's saying that the current price is higher than the value of the placed order. I'm going to show you this picture here. This is the most useful thing to look at. In this image here, what they're showing us is the green section is where we currently are in real time. So this is what you would see on your chart, and this gray is future. So if the market is currently at this level, and we think if it's going to hit this level, it'll keep going. Now different systems, once again, will give you reasons for this. This might be a strong level of resistance, and you think if it's broken, the market will keep running, but we're still down here, so we set a buy stop. So if the market comes up and we're over here, nothing is triggered, nothing is triggered, nothing is triggered. The moment it comes up and hits this level, it automatically puts in our trade at a buy, and we've set our volume and take profit and stop loss, and now we're in, and hopefully it keeps going up and you make your money. The buy limit is we're saying that the market is currently higher than where it's going to be. So in this case, we would expect there to be a strong level of support, and we're assuming that the market is going to come down before it turns back up. So here we go, we're in green, this is what we're seeing now, and we've set our buy limit. So the trade comes down, oh, it doesn't hit the buy limit, no trigger, comes up, comes down. The moment the market crosses this buy limit price, it triggers our buy, and then hopefully it keeps going up. Next thing to have a look at is the sell limit, which if you have a look at sell limit and buy limit, it's the exact same thing, just upside down. With sell limit, we're saying that the market is currently lower than where it's going to be, and we're expecting the market to turn up, hit a level, and then come down. So this could be a strong level of resistance that we think the market is going to turn at again. And a sell stop, the current price being this green, is higher than where we want our pending order, and we're saying we expect the market to come down, hit it, and then continue going down. You'll pick this up a lot more in the price action, but just for now, remember that we've got these buy stops and buy limits, that's pending orders, and in MetaTrader, all pending orders are based on a market price, not time. So you can't set a pending order to say enter a buy in an hour's time or 2 hours, and that's actually a good thing because everything should be determined by price and not amount of time that has gone by. Alright, I'm going to show you an example of a pending order. Just a quick look at this chart. You see here we've got the market has come and turned up. If I were to spend more time on it, we might figure out that this is an important level and we expect the market to turn there again. So I'm going to move this level up here so we can see what that is. And now I'm going to enter a pending order, and I'm going to move this one up there. Now we're going to enter. We're going to go from instant execution. We're going to put in a pending order. Now remember, the market is currently lower. We're expecting it to go up and then turn down. So this will be a sell limit. If you do get confused, just go back to that help file, look at that picture again, and it will refresh your memory. Now with sell limit, we need to put at price. This at price is when are we going to enter this sell. And we decided we're going to put it up there. So we're going to put in that figure, 0.98155. I'm not going to bother with stop loss and take profit just yet. I just want to show you what this is going to do. There we go. Now you'll see that we have another green line up here. The green line, as opposed to those dotted red lines, is showing us that we are either buying or selling, that we're activating in the trade. If you have a look at your trade window at the bottom, the top one, these are trades that we are currently in, and below this this balance line that we have, we've got our pending orders. Now the pending order is sitting there waiting for the market to come up, and it will then trigger a sell. Until then, it's going to stay below, and you'll see that there's no profit because we're not in the market yet. It's only going to enter the market once it hits that line. At this time, you can go and you can still modify this order. You can even change where you're going to have the price. You can add your stop loss and take profit, or you can just click delete and it'll get rid of your pending order. You'll find if you place too many pending orders, you'll have way too many things to be looking out for. So from time to time, you need to go through and see if things have changed. If they have changed and the pending order is no longer valid, you want to click delete and then OK, and you see it's gone from here. We look at account history. It shows us that we deleted a pending order, and it looks very much like the other orders, except instead of sell or buy, it'll show us the sell limit or buy limit or whatever the case is, and there will be no profit. So it is a way just to keep track of what's going on, but obviously with no profit we're not that interested in it. If I go back to this trade window, we still have this other buy in that I put at 0.5, and the profit is changing. I'm going to go ahead and close this so we have no more trades. There we go, we're closed. Go back to account history. Now if you'll notice, we closed our pending order before we closed that the previous buy, but the buy is up here. By default, MetaTrader will put your trades in order that you entered them, not when you closed them, but when you actually entered the trade. So you'll see here, these two trades are at the exact same time. That's because we opened it up as a 1, and then we closed half and closed half. You'll see that the times we closed the trades have changed. If you click on time over here, this will change in time that it's closed, but by default it's in order number, which isn't a bad way to go. Alright, that's it for now. Just please remember how to access. You can either click on help and help topics, or you can just press F1 on your keyboard. You go to search, you type in the word pending, list topics, and you look at this, and it'll bring up the details. It's a little confusing with the way that they say it, which is why I always refer people to come and have a look at this picture. Just remember that green is what we could see in real time, so this, just pretend that's live, this being the most recent candle that's formed, or bar, and it'll show. So we're expecting the market to come up, hit a level, and then continue going up in this example. That's it for now. We'll be looking at how to add indicators in the next series. It'll be the 301 and so on. And after we've had a look at a few indicators and what they'll do, we'll start putting it together into your first working system. Great. I'll